everybody. I'm so sorry that we weren't able to meet in person today, thanks to the weather, but Radar and I wanted to give you a little video tutorial on one of our favorite games, which is called the mat game. And this is something we would have gone over in your classes today. So hopefully this little video will kind of break it down a little bit for you. Let me move my treats before my cat dives into them. The joys of training at home. So for the mat game, you're going to want to have a mat that's different than your dog's regular daily bed. And the reason for that is you're going to want to put the mat away when you're not actually doing training with it right now. Because let's say you're in the early stages of training the mat game and your mat is laying on the floor and your dog runs over and lays down on it and nobody is there to acknowledge that they did that and to give them a reward for that. Remember, dogs do what works, so if going to the mat doesn't give them anything that is rewarding for them, they may not want to repeat that behavior. So for the time being, while you're doing the training, I want you to go ahead and put the mat somewhere out of your pup's reach. Now, Radar and Maggie are both really good with their mat game. Go, Ray. So I can leave the mats around the house and they can use different mats. You don't always have to stick with the same mat. But again, in the early stages when they're still learning, roll it up, put it away, do a few repetitions at a time, and then end on a good note. Good boy, Ray. So with your mat game, you're going to want to have treats, and I have a handful of some treats right now. I had to wash my treat pouch, hence the reason why I have no treat pouch right now. And you want to have your mat. Have some treats at the ready. Now here's the thing, guys. You want to make sure that you are ready to mark and reward. Remember, that's yes or good boy, good girl, and give a treat the moment your dog shows any interest in the mat. And that means something as small as them looking in the direction of the mat in the early stages. We tend to wait for them to actually run over and drop into a down on the mat before we reward. But remember, you're working with baby steps here, working on being able to gradually start to increase your expectations. So in the early stages, the moment this mat comes into play, you are working. So when I place this mat on the ground, if Radar looks in the direction of the mat, yes, you're going to see me say yes, and then I'm going to toss a cookie away. Now, the reason I'm tossing the cookie away is I want to see if Radar is going to start orienting back to the mat and not just to me or to another thing happening around the house. So if Tech decides to join in, we'll see. And so the whole thing is I'm going to gradually increase my expectations with this game. So at first, Radar might just get a yes and a treat for just looking. Then maybe I'll wait. A yes and a treat for moving towards the mat. And then a yes and a treat for putting a foot on the mat. Then maybe a yes and a treat for 2 feet, 3 feet, a sit, a down. When he finally drops into a down on his own, you're going to probably see me do what we call a jackpot. And a jackpot is when you give one treat right after another while they're in that position. And that's like, woohoo, party time. And then I'm going to throw a cookie away and wait and see what he does. Now, let's say the mat is right in front of you and your dog kind of sits over to the side. I want you just to stand there for a second. No words, guys. Try really hard not to do the typical human thing where we tell our dogs what to do. I don't care if they sit down, bow, whatever they do, as long as they don't eat the mat. The whole point is let them use their brain. It's so important to let our pups think on their own and figure out how they're going to succeed. So be patient. Do not tell them to sit or lay down on the mat. Try not to send them to the mat right now. Eventually you will be able to name it mat or place or whatever. But again, in the early stages, we're using something called shaping, which means we're going to break that behavior into baby steps. Your pups are going to get more feedback from you. They're going to get more rewards. It's going to increase their confidence, and they're going to pick up on things like that. So now that I've rambled, see, I can ramble on a video too, look at that. I'm going to go ahead and get the mat out. I've done a little bit of charging up Radar's marker word before I started the video this afternoon. Did a little bit of eye contact and orienting back to me just to get that brain into working mode. And I'll give Tech a treat, so maybe he'll behave himself. Tech thinks he's a dog. Yes, Ray, good boy. All right, guys, let's see how this goes today. So when you bring the mat out, Ray, come on. You want to act like it's the best thing you have ever seen in the world. Look at this thing, isn't this cool? Oh my God, look at that mat. Wow, this is so cool. And be silly with it. Pique your dog's interest. And then drop it on the floor. Yes. Yes. So I'm going to break it into baby steps for you here. So yes, I'm going to start just yesing and treating. Yes, the moment Radar heads towards the mat. Yes. Yes, good boy. And now I'm going to wait and see what he offers. Yes, good boy. He laid down on the mat, no words from me. Here's our jackpot, one treat right after another, and Tech gets a treat too. All right, ready? Go get that one. Gotta try and move the mat where people can see you. Ready? Okay. Ooh, hey. All right, let's see. Ready? Yes. 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 Now I'm gonna wait and see what else he can offer me. Yes, I like the bow. Okay, I'll reward that. That's pretty cute. I'm gonna wait him out again. Yes, good boy. One treat after another. He gets a jackpot, and the cat gets another cookie too. So again, as you can see, guys, what I'm doing, I hope you can see anyway, it's hard to set my video up. I'm breaking it down into baby steps. I'm not telling him what to do. I'm showing him this mat, I'm dropping it on the ground, yes! And at first, every interaction, yes! And fling those cookies all over the place, yes! 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 Whoops, sorry, that one bounced. Yes, there's our jackpot right there, one right after another. I love it. Good boy, baby. Well done. Okay, you're free. Good boy. So the whole point of the mat game, guys, is to give your dogs a place. I use these mats when I go camping, when I go traveling, at class. Yes. I use them for all sorts of things. It's great for calm behavior. It really just kind of helps your pup settle. And also dogs who might have a hard time settling and relaxing around distractions, like other dogs or people. If you start working on the mat game, it gives them a job to do. And that's another reason I don't want you to be telling your dog what to do with this game, because I want your dog to be able to burn off that mental energy, and that is going to help them relax. It's going to help tire them out in a happy sort of way. Thank you. And also it's going to help them boost up their confidence because they're figuring things out on their own. Other one. Yes, good boy. So again, the mat game, start with one mat, put it away when you're not working with it. Bring it out, do a couple repetitions, and on a good note, practice in every room of your house, and then take it outside if the weather's nice for that. And then take it on the road, all different places. The other good thing about the mat game is you can actually start to pair the mat game when people come to your door. You know, my front door is right behind me over here, and we live in a place where we don't get a lot of company, and especially this time in our lives, we're not getting a lot of company anyway. But the whole thing is that I want your dogs to learn that when there's a knock on the door, let's say that your Amazon order or FedEx is dropping something off, I want your pup to be okay. Oh, here goes the cat. Tilly of game. Tilly, not there, thank you. Oh, you leave a shelf open and cats want to jump up and cause havoc. Anyway, if you have the delivery people are showing up to your front door, what I love about this is you can turn the knock on the door into a cue to go drop on your mat and lay down. And that is such a great thing to do for those dogs who tend to be the doorbell dogs, who like to bark when there's company at the door, or the dogs who go crazy when somebody arrives. If you have a dog who tends, like Radar, who tends to kiss everybody as they're trying to take their shoes off and all this, this is a great way for them to chill. And again, I know in this time in all of our lives, things are a little different, but you can still use the mat game as a nice settling space, even if your family is visiting and socially distancing. So I think that kind of breaks it down for you. This is what I want you guys to work on the next couple weeks. Again, short and sweet. And if you want, you can pick your mat up. Give me that mat. Where's that mat? I need the mat. Give it, give it, give it. There you go. Move it to a different place in your house. Ready? Yes, good boy. And just start the game over again. And again, remember, yes, good boy. The whole point is to have fun. Don't get mad at your dog if they start to be a little confused. And help them out if you have to by going back to the last step that they were being successful. It means you might have to go back to just rewarding them, good boy, for looking at the mat a few more times and gradually increase those expectations. If you have any questions over the next couple weeks, you know how to find me. And again, keep up the great work, guys, and I will see you in a couple weeks. So look forward to your graduation class. All right, take care.